Hello everybody and welcome to another video tutorial. In today's tutorial I'm going to show you how to customize Photoshop a little bit to make things a bit easier in both speed and also attaching some of your preferences that you may wish to set up, especially if you already had them on a different computer. So the first thing that we're going to do is work with the brushes. As you can see right now I have my folder open from my removable drive USB plugin, and essentially I've copied these from a different computer and I'm going to be putting these into the same folder as the brushes that I want to use. What I'm going to do is I'm going to open a new window here. Just open one random one here. Go to my PC. Alright, so where these presets are actually stored is under your actual name, but in the local drive. So I'm going to go to my local disk. I'm going to go in there. I'm going to go under users, and my computer is actually just called Seahawk. It's something I've been using for a while. There's actually a hidden folder in this menu. So to see it, you actually have to go to View and then Hidden Items, because until you do that you won't be able to see the necessary folder, which is called Apps Data. So you're going to go in there, you're going to go under Roaming, you're going to choose Adobe, and then you need to find Adobe Photoshop CS5, because in this case we're inserting the brushes in Adobe Photoshop. You go to Presets and Brushes. So I already have a couple, but these are older ones and I want to update it with my new ones, so I'm going to just click and drag these guys here into that folder. And there you go. So now, when I go in Photoshop, I can load these brushes up. So if I go in here, down click here, go in the right menu here, I can actually replace my brushes now with the most recent one, which is this guy here, and load those brushes in. And that's pretty much instantaneous, and it's nice because then I have access to all my favorite brushes that I may have added textures to, and a lot of them are custom. Now, the only thing is though, I still don't have my, up here, if you look up here, I still don't have my customized workspace, and I want to rectify that. So it's actually not far from this initial folder. Okay, so we're actually going to go up a couple folders. It's still in Adobe CS5. You need to go into CS5 settings and then workspaces. So I'm going to actually copy the file into this folder. So if I bring back my removable disk here, that's the one. Go back. I've already saved these, so I'm just going to click and drag that in there. You may actually have to shut down Photoshop. I'm pretty sure I have to close Photoshop for this to show up. Load this back up. It should actually just appear up on the top. There you go. So now I can actually choose my workspace, which is already formatted the way I like, and I'm ready to go. Now, that's the basic workspace. There is an additional step you may actually want to include. So if you have an SSD, this is the great time to use it because you can actually dedicate Photoshop to that SSD. So I'm actually going to go into Preferences, Edit Preferences, and then General. And I'm going to go under Performance. So here I've actually loaded two separate drives for performance reasons. I have my main C drive, which is an SSD, so it's a lot faster to use, so it doesn't take as much time to load everything up. It's much quicker. But I also have a secondary drive in case that drive runs out of space. So this drive is an SSHD drive, I believe. So it's actually in between. It's not as fast as an SSD, but it's still faster than a hard drive. So it's a good compromise between the two, and that one's a blank drive, so it has plenty of space for it. And that drive I essentially use for loading up files into it so that it's not taking up the rest of my resources on my SSD or a different software. So by clicking these, you can actually choose how many hard drives it's going to go to. What you also might want to do, now keep this in mind because this is a double-edged sword, it's going to speed things up. However, you're not going to be able to go back as many steps. So, I changed my history states to 10. It used to be originally 20, so I can only do 10 undos before I can't go back any further. There's pros and cons to that, like I said, but I work with a lot of layers and then I combine those layers, so generally it's not an issue, and if it is an issue I just repaint it. It does depend on your workflow, so certain times this will not be a good thing. However, it is good to keep in mind because it does help speed things up. You can also allot how much you want Photoshop to take of your resources. So that's also going to be a key thing. So between these two things, it'll help speed up Photoshop a lot and also help customize your Photoshop interface a lot more. I'll show you quickly also how to save a new workspace, just in case you're not sure, because I have already created a workspace, but let's say I wanted to create a new one. It's actually not that hard. You just click down here and choose new workspace, and then you can name it. And once it's named, then it actually appears up top here. In this case, I've already created the one that I like, so I'm not going to worry about this because I already have the one I prefer. Alright, so I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I hope to see you guys soon, so thank you and take care.